You can spend thousands upgrading your Jeep Wrangler and accidentally make it less reliable, less safe, and far more expensive to own. Some of the most popular upgrades can cause electrical failures, destroy your steering geometry, overheat your transmission, and make death wobble even worse. Here are 5 popular upgrades that can wreck your Wrangler, and 3 that could save you thousands. Worst. Number 5 is the cheap LED light bar. Every Jeep owner buys a light bar sooner or later. It's basically a rite of passage in this community. But there's a hidden trap nobody warns you about at the parts store. Your JK or JL runs a system called the CAN bus network. That system constantly checks how much power your lights are pulling from the battery. Halogen bulbs pull a lot. Cheap LEDs pull almost nothing at all. So the truck's brain sees that tiny power draw and thinks your bulb died on you. It sends a fake fault code straight to your dash. Your lights start flickering and strobing, or shutting off completely on the highway. Some owners actually think their entire electrical system is dying at that point, but it really isn't. Your Jeep just doesn't know it has LEDs installed now. The fix costs money you didn't plan for either. You need an anti-flicker harness or a proper CAN bus decoder for each light. Cheap light bars sold as plug-and-play almost never include one in the box. If you try to power your light bar off the headlight wire, that pulsing signal makes the strobing much worse. There's a deeper problem hiding underneath all this too. Hack wiring aux lights into factory circuits is a fire risk, and a non-DOT bar can fail state inspection. So you spent $80 to look tougher. Now your Jeep won't even pass a safety check at the shop. Owners on JL Wrangler forums end up recoding their whole cluster from halogen to LED using a JScan tool just to stop the flicker. That's the cheapest mistake on this list. Wait until you see number 4. Number 4 is the heavy steel bumper. Bolting a huge steel bumper and a winch onto the front of your Jeep is every Jeeper's dream. It also cracks your frame wide open. Here's the part nobody explains to new owners. Every JL Wrangler and Gladiator has a known weak spot right where the front track bar connects to the frame. Jeep's own welds have been separating from that mount, straight from the factory line. Rusty's Off-Road put it in plain language. They said Jeep is still having problems with track bar mounts ripping off the frame, even on the newest JLs, with welds actually starting to break under normal driving. That's exactly why every serious suspension brand sells a reinforcement bracket now. Rusty's, Synergy, Metal Cloak, Clayton Off-Road, and Barnes 4WD all sell one. They didn't design those brackets for fun. Every one of them exists because Jeep has a genuine frame problem. Now add 60 pounds of steel bumper and a 90-pound winch to that same weak zone. Every pothole becomes a hammer blow. Washboard roads add stress to a joint that was already fragile. The tiny cracks spread over time, and one day the track bar just tears loose from the frame at highway speed. That's exactly what happened to Ross from New Jersey. His 700-mile 2018 Rubicon lost all steering on the highway when the track bar sheared off at the weld. He nearly caused a multi-car crash at 60 miles an hour. Jeep issued an official safety recall covering 18,000 Wranglers for that exact weld defect. Their own NHTSA campaign warned that the bracket separation could cause a crash without warning. So before you bolt on that big bumper, brace the frame first. Things get so much worse from here. Number 3 is the engine tuner or delete kit. Slapping a tuner on your Jeep to squeeze more power is the fastest way to destroy your warranty. And after 2018, Jeep locked the PCM with a security gateway module. That means every tuner leaves a permanent trace the dealer can find in under 10 seconds with a scanner. One JKU owner had his lifetime powertrain warranty killed after using a Superchips flashpack tuner. His transmission failed at 59,000 miles. The dealer plugged in the scanner, found the tune data still logged in memory, and denied the claim on the spot. He paid out of pocket for a Jasper rebuilt transmission. A dealership employee described the very first TRX they ever sold coming back a few weeks later with a blown engine inside. The tuner was detected, the claim denied, and the owner paid roughly $10,000 for a fresh long block. It gets worse from there. Transmission tunes have bricked TCM modules completely. Truck won't start, dashboard throws a communication error, and you're mailing that module out to a specialist. Now the delete kits. Ripping out your catalytic converter or EGR isn't just illegal, it's a Clean Air Act violation under federal law. Individuals face fines up to $5,900 per vehicle in 2026. Businesses face $59,000 per vehicle. Cobb Tuning paid $2.9 million to the EPA for selling defeat devices. Vivid Racing paid $1 million. Punch It Performance got hit with $850,000. But the danger climbs way higher with the next one. Quick pause. If you want your Wrangler to last well beyond 200,000 miles, I put everything you need to know into the 500,000-mile Jeep blueprint. It covers the maintenance, fluids, common failures, and expensive mistakes every Jeep owner should know. The link is in the description below. Number 2 is the cheap spacer lift. This one's a real killer, sometimes literally. When you slap a 2.5-inch cheap spacer under your springs, you change every angle in your steering geometry. Your caster goes negative. The track bar angle gets much steeper too. Control arms start fighting each other under load until something snaps. The result has a name, and Jeep owners whisper it like a curse. It's called death wobble. One 2023 Gladiator owner installed a Terraflex spacer lift, and days later hit a small bump on the highway. His truck started shaking so violently he thought the front end was collapsing and his wheels were about to fly off the axles. He was doing 60 miles an hour at the time. None of that is exaggeration. It's a real quote from his forum post on Jeep Gladiator forum. There's a deeper trap most owners fall into after that. They run straight to the parts store and slap on a new steering stabilizer, thinking that will fix it. But it never does. Rocky 4x4's suspension specialists in Hanover Township put it perfectly. The stabilizer is a band-aid, not a fix. Real problem lives in your track bar bushings first, then your tie rod and drag link ends, then your ball joints on JKs especially, and only last does the stabilizer even matter. Diagnosing and repairing death wobble properly costs $2,000 to $3,000 at a real shop. That's if you catch it early enough. If you ignore it, your ball joints start failing, your steering box loosens, and eventually something snaps at the exact wrong moment. Which brings us to the most dangerous mistake on this entire list, the one that led to a real lawsuit. Quick pause for a second. If this video is saving you from a $5,000 mistake, please hit that subscribe button below. Now let's keep going. Number 1 is running big tires without regearing. This is the mistake that sits at the heart of a $30 million class action against Jeep. The case is called Reynolds versus FCAUS, filed in federal court in Michigan. 6 owners sued Jeep because their factory front axle couldn't handle bumps at highway speed. The steering wheel would violently shake side to side without warning. Each of the 6 named plaintiffs got $4,000 in the settlement. Their lawyers got $3.95 million. Jeep now covers front-end steering damper failures for 8 years or 90,000 miles. Here's what nobody tells you at the dealership. Your Wrangler left the factory with 3.45 gears or 3.73 S in the axles. Those gears were calculated for the factory tires around 32 inches tall. The second you jump to 35-inch tires or bigger, you flip the entire mechanical advantage of your drivetrain upside down. Your automatic transmission goes into a slow war with itself. Its torque converter never fully locks up in the higher gears. All that engine power turns into pure heat inside your gearbox. One TJ owner's shop rebuilt the transmission, replaced the whole cooling system, added a second radiator, and the truck still overheated on the way home. They never fixed the actual cause of the whole problem. The cause was simply the wrong gears from day one. Then comes the death wobble. Bigger tires mean bigger forces feeding back into your steering system. Your stock ball joints wear out fast. Track bar bushings start hammering themselves apart under load. Eventually, at highway speed, everything hits its resonant frequency, and your steering wheel goes into that violent shake. Some owners describe losing control at 70 miles an hour on the interstate. Jeep's official response has been that death wobble is just a normal vibration, easily fixed by simply slowing down. That answer didn't hold up in federal court. It definitely doesn't hold up on the highway either. So let's talk about how to actually do this right, starting with the third best upgrade any Wrangler owner can make. The third best upgrade is steering and traction hardening. If you've made it this far, you already know your Jeep's front end is its weakest link by a mile. Fixing it is the smartest money you'll ever spend on this truck. Start with a sector shaft brace from Steer Smarts or Synergy. It stops your steering box from flexing away from the frame, which is what actually causes that loose, wandering feeling on the highway that most owners blame on other stuff. Then swap your factory ball joints for Dynatrac Heavy Duty or Terraflex HD replacements. The factory ones were rated for stock tires only. Yours aren't stock anymore. Upgrade your tie rod and drag link to one solid piece of heavy-duty steel while you're in there. For traction, real Jeepers pick between two proven paths. The ARB air locker runs about $1,500 per axle. It locks and unlocks with the flip of a switch. Open diff for the street, full lock for the trail. The carrier is machined from billet steel. Any single internal part is fully replaceable at any shop. Engagement clamping is around 800 pounds of force, and that's why serious off-roaders swear by them. Or run the Curry anti-rock front sway bar for around $300 total. You lose only 4 to 6% of your max articulation compared to a full disconnect, but you keep your street manners intact. Most JK owners run anti-rock because the factory electronic sway bar disconnect fails constantly, and it costs $1,500 to replace at a dealer. That mod pays for itself the first time it saves you from a dealer bill. The second best upgrade is quality shocks with a geometry-correct lift. This is where you fix everything a cheap spacer lift broke. Buy a real kit from Terraflex, Rubicon Express, Clayton Off-Road, Metal Cloak, or Evo Manufacturing. These proper kits come with adjustable control arms. Track bar is either adjustable or fully relocated. That way your steering geometry stays correct at your new ride height. Death wobble never gets a chance to start. Then pick shocks based on how you actually drive your Jeep. Fox 2.0 sets run around $500 to $600. They're linear, which means they feel smooth off-road, but some owners have had them leak within a few thousand miles. Bilstein 5100s run around $300 to $400. They're stiffer and digressive, and they feel amazing on-road but harsh in the rocks. The Bilstein 5160 remote reservoir set runs closer to $1,000 per Jeep. Those solve the heat fade problem on long rock crawls that fry cheaper shocks. Which one you pick depends entirely on where you actually drive. Highway Warrior grabs 5100s. Overland Cruiser picks the Fox 2s. Serious Rock Crawler goes 5160s all day long. Here's the deeper insight almost nobody in the Jeep world talks about. The shocks aren't the magic. Geometry is what actually wins the fight in the end. A cheap lift kit with fantastic shocks still hands you death wobble on the highway. Meanwhile, a great lift with average shocks stays planted at 70 miles an hour. That's why the pros always spend on the kit first and the shocks second. So finally we come to the single most important mod on this entire list. And the number one best upgrade is a proper regearing job. This is the mod that separates real Jeep owners from mall crawlers. If you're running 35-inch tires, you want 4.56 gears or a set of 4.88s. Running 37-inch tires, you want 4.88s or 5.13 gears. And you regear both axles at the same time, or the whole job is wasted. A full both axle regear on a JK runs around $2,000 installed at a good shop. On a JL or Gladiator, you're looking at $2,700 total. Parts alone, the ring and pinion plus a master install kit, cost about $1,200. The rest is pure labor. Setting up gears with the right backlash and pattern takes serious skill. Here's what regearing actually does under the hood. It restores the mechanical advantage your drivetrain lost the day you went to bigger tires. Your transmission finally stops overheating for good. The engine hits its proper power band again on the highway. Fuel economy actually improves in most real-world cases. Death wobble becomes far less likely because your drivetrain isn't fighting itself anymore. The pros make this simple. Nina Barlow, one of the only women among 100-plus international 4WD Trainer Association certified masters, treats regearing as absolutely foundational. Trail Recon says the exact same thing on his channel every year. Every serious off-road builder puts gears in the #1 slot on their build list. The deeper truth almost no owner realizes is this. One JL Rubicon owner posted his dealer shop quote at $3,200 for Mopar 4.88 gears. He thought that price was outrageous. Then he saw what a failed transmission would have actually cost him. About 10 grand out of pocket. So if you're going bigger tires, regear first. Every single thing on your Jeep depends on this one mod. Your transmission, your steering, your safety on the highway itself. Skip it entirely, and every other upgrade on this list becomes a bandage on a broken system. So before you spend another dollar modifying your Wrangler, make sure you're upgrading the things that actually matter. Comment below which upgrade you've done, or which one you're planning next. And if you want more Jeep tips like these, hit subscribe. Click the video on your screen right now, and I'll see you over there.